and the director of the Portland Comedy Film Festival. We've got an event coming up. The Portland Comedy Film Festival Fall 2022 will take place on November the 13th at the Clinton Street Theater, historic venue near downtown Portland. We're going to show all kinds of films there: romantic comedy, dark comedy, sketch comedy, comedy series episodes, funny music videos, mockumentary, you name it. We're going to try to make you laugh with a bunch of films and video content that is 30 minutes or less. And we're joined today by a writer and actor from one of those films, and that is Mostafa Shaker. Hey, Mostafa, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. We're going to talk about Muslim Mingle today, which is nominated for the Best Editing Award. Judges really love the production on this one, so good job.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really, really excited.
Well, creatively, what? Well, let's get into the synopsis first, just so people know what to expect, because that's kind of a curious title, and then we'll get into the
Totally.
creative aspects of it. But talk to me. What are people going to see when they walk into the theater?
So this is about an awkward, people-pleasing immigrant who finally decides to come out to his girlfriend, and then his mom comes in and interrupts them with all their wedding plans. And you kind of see him unraveling as he tries to reveal this huge secret about himself to his fiance, while his mother is looming above both of them. And you get to see a bit of his sort of like external monologue as well as his internal monologue while all of this is going on.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a comedic situations are one of the score metrics on our scorecards, and you definitely get a 10 for creating a very comedic situation here. So
Yes, thank
an
you.
awkward situation. I guess you could use both words. So talk to me creatively. You know, really, it's a two-part question because you had two major roles in the film. But creatively, why did you want to write this? And then also, why did you want to assume this role? What kind of sparked this entire creative project, if you will?
Totally. So I started acting like professionally, like got into the industry, film and TV specifically. I've been in theater for a long time, but I started acting in film and TV 4 years ago. And I find as like a Muslim Middle Eastern man, there's only so many roles that you're sort of asked to play, and the
Mm.
auditions come in for very specific roles.
Mm.
And I basically started writing so that I can play roles that I wanted to play, to roles that I felt I am able to play and would love to showcase. Um, the film is semi autobiographical, kind of, obviously not to that extent. You kind of have to heighten things, but it's a story that I think is kind of missing from our diaspora of stories in the Middle Eastern Muslim community. And I really wanted to highlight it in like a light, fun way, and just bring some humor into something that is otherwise can be very like traumatizing for people.
Traumatizing. That's a good word. Yeah,
I think
traumatizing.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is a good one. And I got to ask during production, and this is probably more of a twofold question for you because as a writer, you're creating something in your head. It's like an imaginary story, and then you're expecting actors to execute as close to what you wrote as possible. But here you are acting in it as well, and I don't know how you do that. So talk to me from production perspective. What did you learn from this?
Honestly, I don't think anyone else could have done this role. I mean, I wrote it for myself, so it'd be kind of weird to have someone else act it. Like I think it would have been weird seeing someone else on screen assume sort of my life and take my story and
Mm.
and bring it to life. I had a really specific vision as to how I wanted this character to come off and who he was. And I love doing a bunch of different things. I also help produce like the director and I worked really, really closely together. She's a great friend of mine, and we had a lot of conversations about how we wanted the film to come off and the message that we're trying to tell, and visually how to approach it. It was a very collaborative process, and I think when you write something you act in it if you know what you're doing. It's like in terms of acting, like if you got the right technique and the right training, it's actually much easier because you understand the character on a much deeper level. You understand the story on a much deeper level, like you came up with it. So for me, it was a fairly seamless transition. The hard part was sitting there and like acting across from people who are saying my words that I wrote and sometimes saying them wrong. That drove me crazy. But we had fantastic actors and they understood my OCD behavior on set, wanting the words to be exact. So there you go.
Man, that's got to be like I said, there's just like this inherent conflict there, you know. And what do you do if it's not turning out, if your performance isn't turning out the way you wrote it? You know, you got to like blame yourself, you know. But
Yes, oh, 100%. And I think like in that in on that vein, like I really trusted the director to sort of bring out, because once I was on set, it was sort of like the writing was kind of done. Unless we had to change something on the fly, the writing was pretty much finished. So you almost put your writer brain aside and you put on your acting hat, and you just trust the director will bring out whatever needs to be brought out in your performance.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So is this a part of a greater series, or is this kind of a one-off deal for you?
That's the hope. Yeah, I'm trying to turn this into a show. So when we actually made this, we made it originally we got money to do like a proof of concept situation, and we
Mm-hmm.
thought, well, why don't we tell a contained story so that we can also do it as a short film and sort of test the waters a little bit with the characters, with the world, figure out there's an element of sort of magical realism in the film, and we wanted to test out sort of what that would look like in a broader series. So yeah, the hope is to make it into a comedy, like a half-hour comedy sitcom situation, kind of like the Mindy Project, but gay and Muslim.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I think you achieved that. At least the pilot. I think it's definitely achieved that. Good vibe and great production value to this as well. Um, so what? And I know I asked you about the future of the show, but what about you personally? What are you doing next?
So for me, as I mentioned, I'm a writer, actor, and I'm a comedian. As an actor, you know, it's just the regular audition grind. I just wrapped filming a feature film, which was really, really fun. And I'm currently writing a half-hour TV comedy about this junior kid in junior high who wants to ask his crush out to prom or spring formal, and he asks the only person he knows in a long-term relationship for help, his grandmother. So him and his grandmother sort of go out trying to get this guy that he's interested in. It's kind of like Never Have I Ever, but gay and Muslim with a grandmother. There's a thread. Do you see the thread? Everything is like something but gay and Muslim. That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's cool. Well, you know, hey, this has been great. Great to get to know the background of the film. Hopefully, you'll get an opportunity to attend. I think there's value in the out of body experience of seeing your film screen in front of a crowd. And if you're able to make it, cool. If not, you know, we totally get it. But I appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
Yeah, I just really wanted to thank the judges for watching the film and yeah, selecting it to be screened at the festival. We're really, really excited. The team is super grateful, and we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me.